single dad was denied a table in his own restaurant. Minutes later, he fired the entire staff. The single father stood quietly at the entrance of the elegant restaurant he had spent 15 years building from nothing, holding his 8-year-old daughter's small hand. Rainwater dripped from their jackets after a long walk through the storm, but neither of them expected what happened next. The hostess glanced at his simple clothes, frowned with visible disgust, and coldly told him there were no tables available. Just seconds later, a wealthy-looking couple walked in behind them and were immediately escorted to a luxurious window seat. The little girl looked up at her father with confused eyes, unaware that the restaurant refusing to serve them legally belonged to him. Within 30 unforgettable minutes, every employee in that dining room would realize the terrible mistake they had made. Before we continue this emotional journey, if you believe kindness matters more than appearances and everyone deserves a second chance, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe to Kindness Echoes. Your support helps us bring more inspiring stories to life. Daniel Harper had never looked like a millionaire. Ever since losing his wife Emily to cancer 6 years earlier, expensive suits had been replaced with practical shirts, worn jeans, and comfortable shoes. Every extra dollar he earned went toward raising his daughter Lily and expanding the family restaurant Emily had dreamed of opening together. The restaurant had grown into one of the city's most respected fine dining establishments, but Daniel rarely visited because he preferred working behind the scenes, focusing on suppliers, finances, and creating opportunities for his staff. Most of the newer employees had never even met the quiet owner whose name appeared only on legal documents and company records. That rainy evening had been special. Lily had earned the highest grades in her class, and Daniel wanted to celebrate by surprising her with dinner at the restaurant where her mother had once planned every detail with love. He imagined sitting by the same window where Emily had sketched the original floor plan on a napkin years before. Instead, they stood ignored near the entrance while employees whispered among themselves, judging them by appearance rather than character. The hostess barely looked at the reservation screen before dismissing them. The restaurant manager joined her, politely repeating that every table had already been reserved. Yet Daniel watched several empty tables remain untouched while elegantly dressed guests continued arriving and receiving immediate service. Lily squeezed her father's hand, quietly asking if they had done something wrong. Those innocent words hurt Daniel far more than the rejection itself. His daughter had spent years learning that kindness should always come before appearance, and now she was witnessing the exact opposite. Daniel calmly walked outside with Lily, sat her safely inside his car, and asked her to wait just a few minutes. She trusted her father completely, smiling despite her disappointment. As Daniel returned to the restaurant, he no longer looked like an ordinary customer. He walked confidently into the manager's office, unlocked a private cabinet using his personal key, and retrieved the ownership documents that permanently remained there for emergencies. The restaurant's senior accountant recognized him instantly and nearly dropped the paperwork he was carrying. Within minutes, every employee was gathered in the main dining room. Confused conversations filled the air until Daniel stepped forward holding the official ownership papers. The silence that followed was overwhelming. Faces turned pale as realization spread across the room. The same people who had refused him a table now understood they had rejected the men who had given them their careers. Daniel did not raise his voice. His disappointment was far louder than anger. He explained that restaurants were never built simply to serve expensive meals. They existed to make every guest feel respected, welcomed, and valued. His late wife had believed that true luxury was not found in crystal glasses or polished floors but in genuine kindness. Looking around the room, Daniel admitted that somewhere along the way, those values had disappeared. He reviewed security footage showing exactly how different customers had been treated based solely on clothing and appearance. Several longtime employees lowered their heads in shame. Others tried to defend themselves by claiming they were protecting the restaurant's image. Daniel reminded them that the restaurant's image had always been compassion, never discrimination. That evening he made the hardest decision of his professional life. Every manager involved in encouraging or ignoring the behavior was dismissed immediately. Several employees who openly mocked guests were also terminated. Those who sincerely admitted their mistakes were offered another chance, but only after completing extensive hospitality and empathy training before returning to work. Daniel knew leadership sometimes required painful choices, especially when protecting the values on which everything had been built. News of the incident spread throughout the city within days. Some criticized Daniel for being too harsh, while many more praised his courage.